You haven't done this before, huh?
Yeah, because I got to hold my phone out in front of me. I'm like, better sitting in front of my laptop, but.
All right, guys. Jeff Peter here with the Kung Fu Driving Podcast. Wait, got some crosstalk going on. Hey, guys. Welcome to the Kung Fu Driving Podcast. We're here with the cast and crew of Warrior Island. Before we get started, I'm going to play this little video, so strap in.
The greatest martial arts masters of all time. Champions
from around the world.
Red ninjas.
Protectors of the island.
Black ninjas.
Desire the power.
One angry cyclops
needs their souls.
Follow the code. Save humanity.
Hey,
Jefferson.
Wait a minute, quiet on the set. Quiet on the set. Quiet on the set.
Quiet on the
Oh, Michelle, great. Thank you all for joining the Kung Fu Driving Podcast here to talk about Warrior Island. It's great to have you all.
Hey,
happy to be here.
Have to see everyone.
Listen, I think it's cheesy to bring props on, but if martial arts is a lot like a bonsai.
I got some cool props I'll show you later, guys.
hey, easy. This is a family show, Viking Samurai.
Okay.
It's great to have you all. In fact, before we get into all the questions, let me go around and get everybody to introduce themselves. We have a lot of people here, so let me start with Michelle Wu. Michelle, introduce yourself to the audience here.
Hello, I'm Michelle. I'm from Hong Kong right now.
Nice. Hey,
Very
Michelle.
cool to have you.
Greetings.
It's 2:30 a.m. here.
Oh, wow.
Thank you so much for staying awake to talk with us.
We all should look so good at 2:30 in the morning.
Hey, no doubt.
Orlando Rivera, let me move over to you, sir.
Yes, sir. And it's Orlando. There's no R. The R's in-
Orlando. Sorry. Yeah.
He's like, oh.
Yes, sir. How's it going, guys?
Good. Okay, we're doing some
Orlando,
introductions here.
Yeah, Orlando, give me a quick introduction to who you are and your involvement with Warrior Island.
Okay, well, I'm currently retired from fighting, world champion. Been doing this for about 40 years of my life. And now, trying to live the dream by, sharing what I do with Warrior Island. James, told me about this about 12 years ago, and it happened. And miraculously enough, to the grace of God, he's been blessed to have all these people that are supporting him to make this thing happen and bring it to life. So I'm looking forward to actually being there and in New York City with him to share in his glory, no doubt.
Very cool. And it's great to have you. Viking Samurai, let me move over to you. We've chatted a few times before. Nice to have you back, brother.
Oh, thanks, man. So I'm the Viking Samurai. That's my YouTube channel. Check out the Instagram, Real Viking Samurai. I play, funny enough, the Viking Samurai character on the show Warrior Island, and James Jefferson, the creator, had invited me, and I'm honored. It was an amazing experience. So many great martial art legends. So I wear a lot of hats these days. Also now, movie producer, an actor, of course, lifetime martial artist, natural bodybuilder, and I'm just enjoying everything, man. It was great to be part of Warrior Island. Right now, I'm actually shooting another film called Bloodstorm. Pretty hardcore film, but that's pretty much summarizes me.
Awesome. And we also have Sheldon Lettich, writer and director of Bloodsport. Sheldon, we talked once before. Nice to have you back. Let us know what you're up to and what your involvement is with Warrior Island.
Well, first of all, let me make a little correction. I did not direct Bloodsport. I wrote it.
Oh, sorry.
I did direct Lionheart and Double Impact and Only the Strong, and I also co-wrote those. And that's pretty much what I'm doing here on Warrior Island. I'm going to be working on the screenplay. Basically, James had a series of comic books, a really fantastic series of comic books, which I believe can still be ordered. But there wasn't a real movie story there. It was a bunch of disconnected stories, disconnected vignettes. So what I did is I found a way to combine all this into one big story with a couple of main characters that we follow throughout from start to finish. So that's pretty much been my task here, is figuring out a way to make a movie out of this, just like I figured out a way to make a movie out of Bloodsport, out of stories I was hearing from Frank Dukes and reading about in martial arts magazines. I figured out a way to structure it. So I gave a structure to it, came up with characters, and turned it into a screenplay. Basically, just took elements from the ether and combined them and made a recipe out of them. And that's what I'm doing here. So I was on the set when they were shooting the TV movie version of this recently. Worked with James and David and where'd Tayari go? Is he gone?
He must have dropped out a little bit.
His computer's rebooting. He'll be right back.
Oh, okay. So basically got to meet, and Michelle got to meet all these people in person. And so I'm really looking forward to the next step. And I will be seeing everybody in New York City, November 10th.
Nice.
We're going to screen Only the Strong, which has not been shown on a big screen for quite some time. So that's going to be a real treat there at the Urban Action Showcase.
Isn't it November 11th?
I believe
November 11th, I think, right?
I believe the
It is.
screening of Only the Strong is on November 11th, but I believe the showcase starts on November 10th.
Oh, does it? Okay.
I'm going to be there November 10th, anyways,
Okay.
And I'll be there to answer questions about Only the Strong or any of my movies.
Yeah, there's a dinner that is an invite-only dinner on Friday nights that most people don't go to, but the whole experience is on Saturday the 11th.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay. Apparently, I didn't get invited to that dinner on Friday. That's why I didn't.
I didn't either.
Oh man, we're airing out some secrets here now. Apparently, but let's go to the Warrior Island creator, James Jefferson. James, talk to me about Warrior Island.
Well, it's very surreal. I mean, for the last 12 plus years, I've been I can't see these beautiful faces without my glasses. So, for the last 12 years, I've had this idea, and it really was a series of my life growing up, and then all the experiences and friends I had in the world of martial arts, seeing the changes in the world, seeing the changes in companies like the UFC. We looked at this, the loss of the respect and the empathy for human beings. It starts at the very top, the heroes, the fighters that enter the cage, the ring, the platform, the mat. Anyone that enters a ring, cage, mat, or platform is a person with courage. Courage is the number one trait that people that like to see in people. The number one fear is public speaking or fighting the Viking Samurai. But
Michael Bisping never answered the call, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. So people see these heroes that step into a cage, a ring, a mat, a platform, and that takes a lot of courage to do that. And if you really think about, the WWE, the WWF, the UFC, Bellator, all these organizations, there's a lot of disrespect. There's a lot of disorganization. There's a lack of traditional martial arts. They're sports, and they do a lot of sensationalism. It's even worse behind the scenes. You hear about fighters that spouse beatings or randomly hurting people in public or murder. I mean, just horrible things. So we needed a code. And Ron Van Cleef, the Black Dragon, and I sat down, Dan the Beast Severin, along the way, Orlando and Don Wilson, Cynthia Rothrock, Grandmaster Hayes, Oso Casel, all of these grandmasters and friends of mine, Alan Goldberg. Over the last 12 years, we've built a Tiki code follow the code. And it's honor, respect, empathy, integrity, all the things that a real martial arts master should know and live by, as well as professional and amateur athletes should live by. If you've been given this ability or trained your body with the ability to be a real fighter, or an actor / real fighter, that's for you, David. You have a responsibility. I mean, think about when Spider-Man was told by his uncle, right? With great power comes great responsibility, or grandfather, I guess. Uncle. No, it was uncle. With great power comes great responsibility. Well, whether you were born a warrior or you were trained to be a warrior, you have a responsibility to be a person of good, a person to protect, a person to make a positive difference in this world. And the Tiki Code is all about that. So we have everything from the comic book series that Sheldon was talking about earlier. Two of these wonderful people here actually have their own Tiki, and they can talk to about that. Michelle eventually is going to have her own Tiki, which she'll represent. And it's basically kind of who we are as martial artists and as human beings. And that Tiki is kind of how our spirit would be. So, Sheldon kind of touched on the characters that's going to be in the major motion picture, which Sheldon and George Saunders, his co-writer, have finished the treatment and are digging into the actual motion picture full screenplay, and that will be done in relatively short amount of time. They're going to be very interesting characters, just like in Bloodsport, but ultimately that's going to be followed. There's definitely an antagonist with the Black Ninja and the Cyclops, but with the protagonist, you have all of the great masters, grandmasters, characters, and the Red Ninjas, and it's the old good versus evil. I got the good over here, got the red, and then the black one's over there. But yeah, it's good versus evil. And I've been blessed to be able to bootstrap this for the last 12 years. I mean, ultimately, all in, we're about almost at $4 million between everything we've done. And everyone has tried really hard to help out where they can. It's we roll every dollar back in to make it work. We're just about done our 13th and 14th comic book. There's 2 more comic books almost done, and they'll be released for the Action Martial Arts Mega Weekend in January, where we're going to be doing the next actual film premiere, and that would be at the end of January. So you have the premiere coming up at Times Square, New York City, which will be on the 11th of November at the AMC Empire 25 Theater. And then we're going to have another premiere in January, which I know everyone will be at. We're always at that event at the Tropicana in Atlantic City and in the theater there. And then we're also looking at possibly doing something in Los Angeles, Hollywood. And this is all the TV streaming movie, which is way different than what Sheldon's writing. Sheldon's writing an epic, big budget, amazing, shock the world. 25 years from now, people will be, watching this. We're continuing the series in these streaming movies, which are high quality, but they're more like the comic book, and it's a hybrid. You're going to see when you sit in the theater, it's going to feel like you're watching a comic book coming to life. There's going to be some cool animation and graphics, and it's going to be like, oh, I've never seen that done in a movie before. So a little bit different. But when you sit down and see what Sheldon's writing, you're going to think, wow, the Quest and Bloodsport and all these have been brought forward to modern day, and it's just going to have that whole Sheldon Lettich, George Saunders feel about it. So that's exciting. I'm only as good as the people I surround myself with, and I always surround myself with really, really good people. So I don't know how you got on here, Michelle, but I was just kidding.
Well, let me actually go to Michelle then, and off of that, Michelle, can you talk to me about how you got involved with this project? And I know James mentioned the Tiki there, but what is it about your Tiki that appealed to you?
Yes, I'm a newcomer to this series. I knew Semet, the main character of the serial Semet, and I saw his post, the poster of him and Cynthia. So I really got interested in this Warrior Island thing. And then I communicated with James. And all this process, I'm very impressed by his passion. And for over a decade. And I get to the film set, and I'm really impressed by the effort and him and his wife put in to build it, because I used to be a high-end resort designer, architect. So I'm familiar with those the landscaping. It's very beautiful scene, and he built this permanent for his show for many years, and the whole cast on set, they are really impressed. Kung Fu legends,
Cool.
the older one and the fighters. So especially now we know Mr. Sheldon Lettich got involved. It's very promising for the future. I'm really getting excited to be in the this TV series and movie. For the ticket code, I could not agree with more, because in Chinese Kung Fu, we watch the Kung Fu novels, books, and movies from young. So the first lesson the Kung Fu master teaching is the respect. It's not just go on to learn these things to fight. You really need to pay respect to people. That's the first lesson normally. So I really agree on the principles.
I just wanted to, I just bowed out for a second. I wanted to show some of the comic book covers. Okay. In fact, I think, yeah, here's this one's, there's James, there's Cynthia Rothrock is on here. I think that's James's wife. So the comic books are really cool. Here's another one. It just, looking at them gives you an idea of what the movie is going to be. This is what's gotten everybody excited is just these. James got some terrific illustrators to do some great illustrations, and you can see here's James again. He's one of the characters in their name, but goes by the name of Ronan. And yeah, now we're gonna have there's a few new characters we've added, including Viking Samurai. And Viking Samurai is a cool name for one of the characters. I mean, you gotta admit, Viking Samurai sounds better than David Curzel, just like Jean-Claude Van Damme sounds better than Jean-Claude Van Varenberg. Okay, so you got your stage name, your character name, and I think you got a long way to go here, David, as far as becoming an action star.
James, I have a quick note here. Master Reed and Jimmy Justice are in the waiting room.
Oh, bring in Justice before he causes.
Justice. Oh, Jimmy.
Hey,
there we go.
Hey, my best friend, Jimmy Justice.
Viking Samurai's lame. No, I'm joking. How you doing, guys?
We've got quite the party going on here now.
Greetings and blessings to everyone. Greetings,
Hello,
greetings.
everybody.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
What's important?
Hello,
Also, I don't know if you know this, but Oso Tayari Casel is one of our owners and our grandmasters in the comic books and movie and TV show.
Hello, Master Casel.
Speaking of that, Oso Tayari Casel, let me go to you then. Talk to me about your involvement in this project and what the importance of the tikis and of the martial arts is to this whole Warrior Island universe.
Peace and blessings, gentlemen and madam. And as always, before I begin anything, I always say in the name of God, the beneficent, the merciful, the giver and sustainer of all life, from whom all blessings flow, and to whom all praise is due. This particular project is important to me because of the principles behind the foundation. When he starts talking respect and honor and loyalty and kindness and more, the things that actually are so more important than being able to punch and kick at 60 miles an hour. So the principles of the arts stands out the most. And that's one of the reasons why I was drawn to this. I was introduced to James through Grandmaster Ron Van Cleef, who said that this is the project that I should be involved in. And I was just so grateful that when James was explaining everything to me, that it had all of these, just the principles themselves, and I had to be involved on that side. I hope that answers the question.
I want to interject something. Just look at all these tiles of people here. There's so much talk nowadays about diversity, okay? About bringing every race and ethnic group into a project. And just look at this crowd we've got here. We've got we've got African Americans, Asians. We even got a Jew or two here. And so
you're welcome.
Okay. Yeah.
Jamaican, you know, Jamaican.
This is one of the most diverse groups I've ever seen, without anybody making an effort to bring some diversity to it. Nobody has to tell you, James, hey, we got to bring a few black people, and we got to bring a few Asians in. You got it. It just came together this way, and everybody here is a martial artist, and everybody here has lives by the principles that you've been talking about, and we want to spread them out to the world. So.
No, I appreciate that, Sheldon. I appreciate you noticing that. It's that, I believe that most true martial artists, just as they go through their entire life of training, they definitely understand the value of human life and develop empathy for humans. And that's, to a man, every grandmaster that I've ever spoken to who's been in martial arts 40, 50, 60 years, if I'd asked them, what did you learn the most in all of your career? They would say empathy. They can kill you, but they'd rather lift you up and make you feel better about yourself and protect you than to harm you.
Let's go to. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. Continue.
So it's about a lot more than just head bashing and kicking ass and kicking and punching, and that's something that has been very important to James, and he's trying to get that message across.
I can't think of a better segue for head bashing and kicking ass to introduce Jimmy Justice.
Jimmy Justice. Let's go to you then. Can you introduce yourself to our audience? Tell us your involvement with Warrior Island and why you want to be involved with Warrior Island.
Originally, it was for the pure fighting tournament. I'm a prize fighter. I've fought in 8-man eliminator tournaments before, and it was very exciting. But I've also wanted to get into reality television, or I've always looked for a platform for maybe acting potentially or whatever, So, man, this is like a dream come true for me, because obviously, what an easy part to playing myself. So yeah, I was myself on the island. I sort of lost the American accent, but I shouldn't have one to be. I've lived in England all my life, but yeah, I'm kind of a crazy guy. I've done almost every aspect of fighting there is to do, from team fighting, bare knuckle, K1 fighting, MMA. So I'm definitely a martial artist, and but yeah, most recently I've become very spiritual, actually. So I think the Jimmy Justice of 10 years ago, when James, or 12 years ago when I was first introduced to him, I don't think I would have appreciated what's going on here as much as I do now. You understand? Now I'm definitely more spiritual, and I'm seeing the virtues of what's going on here.
That's because you follow the code now. Okay.
Well, I'm grateful for everything, and all samurais and warriors and all that. If it's their destiny to lose, then they accept it. There must be a reason it's going to make them better, or So there's really no fear of failure as long as you try your best and you have the courage and God in your heart. So, and that's definitely what I have. So. I'm fighting actually on Sunday, and I feel fantastic. I feel the best I've ever felt about it. I have no worries whatsoever. You know, like I've always been pretty fearless, but I've more so than ever. You know, I think yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Master Reed, how about you, sir?
Greetings and blessings to everyone. You know, it's all about love in my area. All about upliftment. I'm from the island of Jamaica. You know, in the martial arts world, you know, you give what you a little bit more positivity more than you can take out of this world. When I got the opportunity to go to Tampa to meet James and his beautiful wife, it was through Grandmaster Ron Van Cleef, and he said, man, this sounds like something you'd like to do. Go and, you know, talk to James. He's cool, man. Talk to him. So I take a leap of faith. I drove from Naples all the way to Tampa, and it was fantastic. Great experience. I mean, I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed the people. You know, I mean, when you breathe positivity, you know, you learn to appreciate other positive people. Iron sharpened iron, you know, so is the countenance of one to another, you know. So yes, it was a great opportunity going up to the set, you know. I mean, when I walked on the set, I was like, it's my first time on a set, but it looks like Asia, man, because I have been to Asia. I live there. So I was like, what? This is a real fantastic and a lot of work that pays off. You know, that's why we're here on this interview right now, in my perspective, is because we are now invited to be a part of his dream. And I'm very blessed. I'm truly blessed and highly favored to be here with you all. And I thank you, James, and thank you, everyone that's here. May God bless us all. One love.
One love. Amen. Thank you, James.
And one more over to Viking Samurai. Viking Samurai, David, talk to me about what you're bringing to the Warrior Island universe. And I know just before the interview, you were flashing some hardware there. I know you're filming another film. So talk to me about what's going on.
Yeah. Oh, just a quick note. Funny enough, and this is so cool there's so many like amazing, positive people on Warrior Island. Like anybody who was able to be involved. I mean, if you're a martial artist, if you're a martial arts fan, if you're a martial arts movie fan, that was the place to be. You know, it's like there's a who's who of like martial art masters there. Of course, Ron Van Cleef, Stephen K. Hayes, Sylville Simak, just too many to name. And being able to just like hang out with them, train with them, talk to them, act with them, you know, fight with them. Me and Sylville had an amazing fight. It was just, yeah, such an experience. And then you have Sheldon Lettich there, right? Like this guy is, and I've said it on the channel numerous times, I mean, he made the best martial arts action films in the best era, 80s, 90s. Wrote Bloodsport, wrote directed Lionheart, wrote directed, you know, Double Impact, Only the Strong. Like those are the ones that stand out. They're way more than just like stupid fight films or dumb martial art films, you know, which a lot of the lower grade B movies are just, you only watch them for the fights. Like Sheldon really got the real drama, you know, you care about those characters. So just having him part of Warrior Island is, this is why the project is much better than it ordinarily would be, in my opinion. So, and I think a lot of people would say that. But going back to Warrior Island, so there's so many great positive people that, for example, I'm in California right now shooting a film called Bloodstorm, and we're flying out, me and the director, tonight to Oklahoma, and we're going to shoot the opening scene, which is a ridiculous, badass shootout. But the guy that we're shooting it with out there, actually two guys, Justin Herr from Warrior Island and also Rick. So, you know, like I met them there, and they're, you know, we all got along great. So we're going to work on this, and we plan this Bloodstorm film, and then other projects in the future. So it's really kind of cool. And I'm the loyalty tiki, by the way, and I think that's a very important trait for anyone to have. You know, especially like in the film industry, if you're trying to do anything there's a lot of people that'll, you know, backstabbers. There's a lot of what I would say shallow networking, you know, where people try to use you and, you know, forget about you. But like with what I'm trying to do, and I am the loyalty tiki and I'm loyal in my life, I'm trying to find and I'm building the right team, almost like the Avengers, right? With the right team of people that I would continuously continuously work with. So that's what I'm doing and continuing to try to do. So it's so cool being on, you know, a show like Warrior Island, where I'm pretty sure James did a good job of screening people, so we didn't get any, like, you know, negative people there. Like, I had such a great experience with everybody there. So, you know, and then that's how you build, you know, going from project to project, especially if you're trying to do things like in the acting movie world. But
that's a great point, David. That's a great point. Just to give you, so when I went down to film we did some B-roll a couple years ago in Florida. That's where Master Reed was, and Orlando was there. So we took down a bunch of these nunchucks on the plane. They're rubber. These are the rubber ones. These are the real ones. But so we flew down with a bunch of nunchucks, and we had some other weapons and stuff. So we filmed. There was no problem flying down. But on the way back, security like found them, and they're like, "What are you doing with all these weapons?" I'm like, "They're not real." He's like, "No, we got to confiscate all of them." So I'm telling you, whatever you're holding up there, don't try and get that on the plane, David.
Well, yeah, you know, I looked it up in the TSA. You can actually bring like real guns. They just have to be locked and they have to be checked in. You know, you can't bring it as carry-on luggage. So we're going to be
6 pair of nunchucks on carry-on. It was just one right there.
Oh, see, that's carry-on. That's why all these are going to be locked away in a suitcase, and I'm going to need them because I'm probably going to kill about half a dozen people in the film. You know, so, actually, probably over a dozen. Now that I think about it, the body count on this is going to be like one of those Rambo or Commando movies where people just like, how many dudes this guy killed by the end of the movie? You know. Anyway, Warrior Island is much nicer because we're only fighting with hands, and I'm not even sure if anyone actually gets killed. You know, it's not like Mortal Kombat or anything. So.
Sheldon, let me move to you then, because David mentioned the Avengers there, and in talking with James about Warrior Island, he said that this has the potential to be the Marvel universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe of martial arts, of positive martial arts, and you have, like David was mentioning, have written some influential martial arts films. What is your take on what Warrior Island as a film can add to the tapestry of martial arts films?
I don't know if it can add anything, but it's part of a continuous, it's a continuation from Enter the Dragon to Bloodsport to The Quest. Basically, it's in that tradition. So we're not, we're just, it's like those are the building blocks. We're going to add another building block on top of those. This is going to be part of that. I don't know if there'll be a label attached to it, but it's basically if you can take parts of The Quest and Enter the Dragon, you know, the part about the island in Enter the Dragon. We've got an island here. There's basically martial arts competitions that are fought on the island. We pretty much had the same thing in The Quest. There was an island in The Quest. There was the
Muay Thai Island.
Muay Thai Island. I'm the one who came up with that.
Question about the
I don't know
Quest.
why I blanked on it just now. And then, you know, Bloodsport. So it's in that tradition, and it's not going to be anything new. It's going to be pretty much in the tradition of those kinds of films. And this is going to be the new one that's added on top of those. So that's basically what we're working on here. And I feel a certain amount of responsibility to making sure that it is the same level as Enter the Dragon and Bloodsport and The Quest and all of those other films. That's what we're trying to do.
Fantastic.
This will not be a step backwards to B-level choppy sake movies. This is going to be a step forward that's going to be even more elevated than Enter the Dragon and Bloodsport. That's what we're aiming for.
Cool.
I think we have a great team here. We should be able to achieve that, and we'll know next year.
Let me throw this out then to the floor. There's with all of the martial arts that's in cinema today, not necessarily the most positive portrayal of martial arts, but that's because the audience wants, you know, busted heads and you know, blood everywhere. So maybe I'll go to James here. How is the positivity of Warrior Island going to be front and center for everything involved with Warrior Island?
Well, as the comic books, the TV show, the movie, the video game, and the animated series is all going to show that the battle between good and evil is always going to be there. It's going to be very easy to see the antagonist and the protagonist. We have, like we talked about, the Tiki Code. The Tiki Code is a code that all the fighters and warriors need to live by. It's taught by the Grandmasters on the island. It's enforced by the Red Ninjas, and there's a secret power and ambiance of Warrior Island. That's the power behind it, which is revealed through the pages of the comics, and then also through what Sheldon is writing. You'll find out and learn about the Golden Tiki.
Yes, gold.
The reason that like Jimmy Justice is so important is, Jimmy Justice is a very good example of a survivor, someone who's fought from the streets to the ring to the cage to fight into Hollywood, to feed his family, to make the world a better place.
I'm not a traditional martial artist, and respect, and to get my name out there, right? And
right.
Nowadays, to get clout, it's important that we sell tickets, that we put bums on seats. That means we get more money. That means we get more sponsorship. And when I think back to the martial artists that paved the way, they wasn't doing it for money. They was doing it for pure honor and the love of their discipline. And, if they won a katana sword, that would be great, And I believe that David's got this special katana sword, and I want it.
Oh, I gotta say something about that. You'll get a kick out of this, Sheldon. I'm pretty sure you knew a guy back in the day named Enrico who was connected to Mark DeSalle. Mark DeSalle was part of the Big Brother program. Enrico was like his little brother in the program and was around you and Frank Dukes and Mark DeSalle when you guys were putting Bloodsport together, right?
Well, yeah, I knew that Mark was involved with Big Brothers at the time.
Okay.
I don't think I ever met Rico.
Well, long story short, he's got a lot of photographs with Van Damme and Kesey and all this, and he was, I think he was like 11 at the time. He was with Mark for like 5 movies, but he had the actual Kumite sword that was awarded to Van Damme at the end of the movie, the real one. And he had told me that we could put that up as the prize for the fight if Bisping will take the fight against me. But Jimmy wants the sword too, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with this whole sword. Somebody's getting this damn sword, though. The real one, the one and only.
Okay, let me address another point that Jeff brought up also. What's different about the movies today? Some of the martial arts movies, a lot of the action movies. You don't have the real martial artists doing real martial arts on camera, on screen. It's basically the actors do a few moves, and then there's a stuntman who does all the action stuff, and then they use a lot of fast cutting, so you don't notice it. But basically, you're cutting between the actors. I'm talking about actors, not martial artists, and stunt people. Now, what we're doing with Warrior Island, we've got real martial artists. James has assembled a team of real martial artists from all over the world, people who are the real deal. And you're going to see them actually fighting on screen. Now, that's what we did with Bloodsport. That's what they did with Enter the Dragon. You had Bruce Lee and Bolo Yeung. Both of them could do martial arts. You see them on screen. They're really doing it. In Bloodsport, they're really doing it. It's, we had a bunch of real fighters in Bloodsport also. So Van Damme is doing those moves. We're shooting him in slow motion. And Lionheart, the same thing. We're shooting slow motion. You can see, hey, that's really Van Damme. It's not special effects. They didn't insert his face over a stunt guy. And that's one thing that Warrior Island is going to have and has had so far. I've watched these guys fighting. These guys are all the real deal, like Jimmy Justice and Silvio Simac. They're real fighters. They're playing themselves. They're playing these characters in the movie. And it makes a difference when you don't cut away. You don't cut away from their face and go to a stuntman doing some moves, because the actor, well, like, Captain America, okay, Chris Evans, he can't do this stuff. the people who are playing these characters in these martial arts movies, even like the Fast and the Furious movies. You've got people doing all these fights. Well, they're not the real deal. You've got stunt people. Basically, a stuntman comes in and takes Jason Statham's seat in the car. In this movie, it's all going to be real. I don't believe we're planning on using any stunt people whatsoever. We're not going to hire any stunt people, right, James? We're using the real guys, and you're going to see the real guys doing the real thing. You're going to see Jimmy Justice doing the real thing. So that is one thing that will really stand out with Warrior Island. It's all real. It'll be slow motion. You'll see Jimmy Justice. You'll see Viking.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, go ahead, Jimmy.
I can't wait to watch the fight scenes. They're going to be amazing.
Oh, the stuff we already shot with you and Silvio and David, the stuff looks fantastic. And there were no stunt people stepping in to do the fights because you guys could do it. And that's what's going to make this one really stand out from what's been going on lately with action movies and martial arts.
Just to make sure that we cover ourselves a little bit, we did have stunt coordinators, and we did actually have a fight, a professional fight commissioner, and there as well. So we literally had all bases covered, so everyone was safe. But having real martial artists, real professional fighters, real grandmasters of martial arts, and a whole cast of 100 that looked out for each other was a once in a lifetime opportunity. But the good news is we're going to do it every single year because we built our own 4-acre martial arts island that we'll be filming at each year. So anyone that wants to get involved that is a real martial artist or a real fighter, all they have to do is send us an email or go on our social media, Warrior Island Universe, warriorisland.com. And they could be everything from one of the ninjas, red ninjas or black ninjas. They can also be in the tournament. They could be part of the crew cast. They can be an executive producer. We are really doing something unique, letting people get involved in something that aren't part of that shadow world that David was talking about. Unfortunately, in Hollywood, it's a lot of who you know, not what you know, or who you know, not what your skill level is. We're giving people an entry-level way to be involved in comics, TV shows, movie, and all of this as a almost like a Marvel universe for the people with the Warrior Island universe. So on the very first day of the set, I sat on the Kung Fu Temple steps, and I told everybody as a group, you know, the thing that's going to make this production different than any other production you've been involved with is whether you're holding a boom, a camera, you're cleaning up after somebody, you're serving food, or you're the movie star, you will be treated exactly the same. You are part of a family and team here. This is how martial arts works, and this is how real martial arts works. And we're going to run our movie set as such. So the Tiki Code was not only something we were teaching, it was something that 100 people were living for 10 days on a secret movie set that we built. And it's very unique. Not many productions have their own movie set that they own that's also an island and has all this cool stuff like the Wing Chun dummies and the fighting platform and the samurai area. And it's, 4 acres of actual martial arts heaven. And you can ask anyone that's here in this kind of Brady Bunch thing going on here. Anyone here that was there, their experiences. And I'm still dealing with the health issues that I gave myself building that thing. It took me 4 months through the summer in 90 to 100 degrees. I was on a mission from God to build this set for everybody, and it's built now. So now we can film all the time. And we were even thinking about doing some snow scenes this winter. Like Mount Fuji,
and also, adding one thing to it, also on that property has a lot of good herbs. I mean, a lot of fresh herbs that it's amazing. You go in a place that, you rebuilt by, and you make it look like Asia or Vietnam but on the outskirt within all of that vegetation, there's so much good herbs. And
listen, Master Reed, all due respect, we will definitely believe a Jamaican talking about herbs.
That's a really good quality.
You guys are awesome.
Let me go over to Orlando here. Orlando, follow the code, save humanity. What is it about that you think is going to resonate with the audience?
Well, I think what's going to happen with that is it's going to resonate because it's like anything else. It's honor, respect. You know, most importantly is follow the code. That encompasses all of that. And me being the faith tiki, which James was honoring me with that, I was like, wow, that's amazing because, you know, I've been on a real spiritual walk lately that has taken me to a lot of different levels of awareness with people, just things in general. And I think what he's trying to do brings all of that in its circle, which makes it an amazing event. So, but all I'm going to say, you come to see it. I can't wait to see it myself, even though I was involved with it. It's going to be the most amazing time. And like James said, you know, to the grace of God, everything will go well and everybody will get there safe and there'll be no issues. But I'm just happy to be aboard, guys. I love being with you guys and I love sharing my good soul with you guys. My spirit is I'm a warrior. That's been my fighting name for the past 40 years. That was given to me from my wife, Dina Rivera. And I've been with her for 30 years now. And it's, you'll see her. She'll be there. James, you know, like your beautiful wife, I'm blessed like you, brother. And we're going to go places and do things with James that James has just given us the tip of the iceberg right now with this event. And it's going to go places where God only knows where it can go.
I want to address something that James brought up a little while ago, too, because I was talking about real fighters doing real fighting moves and all of that. Yes, we have a fight choreographer choreographing the fights, but nobody's making contact in these fights. They're not real fights. The moves are real. We have real martial artists, but when somebody gets kicked in the face, we're faking that. When somebody gets punched in the face, it might be a light punch, but we're going to put in the sound effects to make it seem like it's real. And basically, it's all about the fighters reacting to punches and kicks. But there's no real fights going on. Well, people might get hurt, even when you're doing fake fights, like in Lionheart, Jean-Claude got hurt a couple times. It happens. But we're not doing real fights. We're doing real moves with real martial artists. You can see it's real, but as far as the matches themselves, they're not real matches. And quite honestly, and I've done lots of this stuff before, when people really get hit, when you're shooting a fight scene and somebody really gets punched, it doesn't look good. It looks fake. It looks better when you're actually faking it, because when somebody gets punched for real, they're like, oh, I just got hit. If you do a movie hit, basically there's a light contact and then the person reacts, and then we put in a sound effect, and that makes it seem real. It makes it seem more real than the real thing would be. So that's what we're going to be doing here. We've got real martial artists, we got great choreography, but the fights are not going to, it's going to be
that's a great point, Sheldon, because, you know, if you want to really throw a punch, you got to come in straight. But in the movies, it doesn't look good. So you come way out here. You got to do this punch really wide, because, you know, in a real fight, it's not going to work because there's too much opportunity for defense or strikes first. So
like those Van Damme kicks. You know, those kicks look beautiful, but they're way out there.
Yeah, right. It's like if you ever watch like American Idol, or you watch they'll tell someone like, you're a good singer, but you're more Broadway. Like Broadway singers, they when they sing, they're very animated. So they
have to project.
Right. So with the fighting, you have to project the fights. Like, you know, Viking Samurai throws these amazing high kicks, and he's shredded with muscle. But, you know, when Jimmy Justice comes straight in on him in a real fight, he's not going to know what to do. Oh, no. Did I just say that?
I don't know what to do. I'm training with Tim Witherspoon. Oh, I know what to do.
It's a real testament, though, to martial arts that they can control their body to the point where they can sell those kinds of things and make it look dynamic for those of us in the audience.
We know you got boxing training in Philadelphia.
It's going down. I'm training with Tim, starting a preliminary camp first half of November. So I'm going to be training with Tim, go up for the Warrior Island premiere, which is only like 2 hours away, back with Tim, and then probably go home for like Thanksgiving. So the preliminary camp starts, man, and you'll see some like really cool training footage and sparring footage with pro boxers. So Jimmy, you got to watch out, man.
He looks like he's sweating. Jimmy, lean forward.
Yeah, he is, dude. He's scared.
He's sweating.
We were talking about doing some Warrior Island like tryouts for this, for the next season for the fighters. You know, like a real mixed martial arts competition on the Warrior Island Kumite style format.
Yes.
And I've been in touch with someone who lives in very close to my home or whatever, who put on a similar format of mixed martial arts on the mat. And he was very successful in getting a lot of people to view it on YouTube because he did something very out there. He had Spider-Man versus Batman and Robin. I don't know if you've seen that on the internet, but it was a lot of fun. And it's got millions of views. Anyway, so I've invited him to come to the premiere to speak to you, James, and that, because obviously he's had experience of putting on these combat shows, you know, and providing you wanted me to organize that for you.
Yes, we're actually going to be rolling out the Warrior Island League next year. There's going to be regions all over the world and all over North America where there's actually going to be real Warrior Island fights where there's a licensed promoter, and we'll have actual real fighters that are fighting to qualify to come work with all these great masters. And
amazing. And if it really takes off, David, in Las Vegas want to book us at Caesar Palace, you can bring your sword.
Nice.
Let me go to Oso Tayari Casel here. Oso Tayari. That follow the code, save humanity. What does it mean to you, to your character, and to what it brings to Warrior Island?
The character and the code for me is kindness. And one of the things that I have been doing my best over X number of years is to bring that about. The empathy, the compassion, to make sure that everybody understands, as deadly as everything is, it's still about having a good heart and doing your best to uplift everyone throughout your training, throughout your martial life, not just your martial training, but your martial arts life. And I'm always been thinking that it's martial artists that can really change the world. It's always a small group of people who stand and have a principle that's about something above just themselves. It's about that collectiveness. And so that's what, and Sheldon talked about how so many different people have come together to demonstrate and emulate what we're doing in the movie. When James just mentioned that we were doing this on the set, you know, that's part of it, which is why my question is for James, when the premiere happens on November 11th at the Urban Action Showcase in Times Square, when everybody sees it, what do you want them to pull from that? What do you expect everybody to get? That's on you, James.
Yeah, James.
I forgot to hit my unmute button. Usually I don't know how to shut up, but I can shut myself up. The thing that I want everyone to get out of this is that, you know, I had a dream, I had a thought, I had something I wanted to do. I wanted to make a difference. You know, every one of us has a day that we're born. Every one of us has a day that we're going to die. And then in between on that tombstone's a dash. It's not important the day you're born, and it's not important the day you died. It's what you did in between on that dash. So me doing Warrior Island and getting to the point where we are going to be on Times Square at the AMC 25 Empire Theater, and we actually have a production that's going to be on a 40-foot screen in a sold-out facility. What I want people to get out of that is no matter what your dream is, no matter what you want to do in life, as long as you don't quit, as long as you have good principles and character behind that, as long as you surround yourselves by good people, you will achieve your goal. You just have to keep going. We have a long way to go. So there was a moment in the filming process in August where, you know, I'm running around the set doing a million things and playing a character, and it was just overwhelming for me physically after physically building the set. my wife tapped me on the shoulder and she said, "What do you think of that?" So she got my attention, because obviously my wife can always get my attention. And she had me turn around and look over at the temple steps. And on the temple steps were all the Grand Masters standing on the steps doing a scene. And she says, "How does that make you feel?" And, you know, I may be a 6'2", 300-pound fighter, but I was like starting to weep. And it was, I think I'm probably going to get the same feeling up with all you guys at the premiere and the subsequent premieres, that it humbles you. It makes you feel very vulnerable. It makes you feel very, I don't know, it's thankful. It's very humbling. I had a thought, I had an idea. I talked to a lot of great people. They helped. People have literally, Jimmy Justice was involved with this for 12 years. He literally did a tryout video where he's kicking a coconut tree. It's the most funny video you've ever seen in your life. Go on the YouTube channel. You can find it. He's beating up a coconut tree. Put me on that island. Put me on that island. And he never gave up on me. He understood my passion. He felt through, you know, my heart, and I just never gave up. So to answer your question, I don't know what I'm going to feel, but it's going to be extremely emotional. And I want people to get that same feeling. Hey, this is somebody's dream. You know, think about what Sylvester Stallone had to go through. How many different studios did he have to talk to? He kept going back to the same studio. He had no money. He had to sell his dog. He finally got the deal. He made Academy Awards. He went and bought his dog back, and hundreds of millions of dollars later. So, I mean, you just have to figure your thing out. You got to figure your thing out. You got to keep going. Make sure you give all the glory to God, because, you know, we're all very weak. We're all very weak. And this, as they explore into the universe with the Webb telescope, which is, I believe, 10 or 100 times more powerful than the Hubble telescope, they're finding stuff in our universe that proves creation. They're finding stuff in this universe that says that we are just a little grain of sand. We're little nothings compared to this universe. And there's so much power and amazingness out there. So be humble. Believe in yourself, no matter what that may be. I mean, I know we have a lot of actors that want to be professional actors and be stars. That you can be whatever you want to be. Just don't quit. Don't quit. Keep fighting. Iron sharpens iron has been something that's around a long time. Viking Samurai came up with a character. Davey came up with his own character. He built a whole brand on a YouTube channel. He's got a podcast. He is now people are begging him to be in movies because they see his skill set, his abilities, his dedication, his fan base. Now Jimmy Justice is doing the same thing. Michelle Wu, being an accomplished actress, wanted to get involved in action martial arts movies and stuff, and now she's forging her way with Cynthia Rothrock and Us and other movies. So it's just wonderful. I mean, I think Ron Van Cleef is at least connected with at least, you know, students, a couple students here and friends here, and it's just. Did I answer your question? Because I just keep going.
Can I make a point?
Yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely.
Can I make a point? Yeah, I totally agree. I'm very impressed by what James says. Everybody's chasing a dream. No matter producers, actors, fighters, whoever. I think everybody wants to be success. I'm involved in this movie, TV series. They offer me a role to be an actress. Actually, I involved on the business side too. I'm an executive producer. So I've been dealing with lots of businessmen. I taught EMBA courses in China to real estate developers before, and I studied EMBA in colleges in US. So I've been dealing with lots of business people. So movie is a business. You want to be a success. I saw lots of people only focus on the tactic side to be smart. They use their brain, their mind to do business. Actually, if one business wants to be successful, and it needs heart. So movie actually, it's not just a business. You need to touch the audience heart, and then you can be success. So I think what I have faith in James, I just newly knew him from this filming this year, but I think he's very considerate. He has heart. He care about how people feel. He care about his investors. He care about his cast. So he has passion to build a beautiful movie set, and you know he put heart in it. And how he treat everyone, he brings lots of healthy drinks, all kinds of healthy drinks to his cast. Nice meals, all the things he can consider. You can, if not acting, you can have the shade to rest. So every small thing you feel he has heart, and for business, he has the very honest, very straightforward, and he over deliver. So it gives you the confidence to work with him more. You see, Jimmy Justice, Sylvia Samet worked with him for over 10 years. So what a guy it is. So I can see this, and just one time experience, I know I want to be with him for longer. And Mr. Sheldon Lettich, I just saw him one time on the film set, and I was anxious. I have to run to the airport for my flight, but I'm still filming that time. And he watched it. He came to me. He comforted me. So these little small things, and I understand why these people become successful. They have heart. It's very heart-touching, very small things. So with these leaders, the producer, the screenwriter, director, they have heart. So I can tell their product's going to be successful. They don't lack of talent. They have all kinds of real fighter, world champion, national champion with them. They get a great team. And they not just have fighting talent, the real fighters. Like Jimmy Justice, I am impressed. He's a natural actor, a great natural actor on the film set. And I'm impressed. I thought he was an actor, but later I know he actually is a fighter, but it's really good. So I think they have great people, great team, but the most important thing, they have heart, and that gives me confidence.
That's
so
fantastic. Michelle, let me stay with you.
They will have a long, successful future.
Well, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. We've been talking for an hour now, and we're gonna unfortunately have to wrap up soon. I would speak with you guys for much longer, but let me ask you then. We as the audience, we follow the code. We watch the movie. What do you want us to remember most about this film and about your contributions to it?
Asking me or James?
Yeah. What would you want? What would you want us to remember most about this film?
I think the main thing they are ticket code. I think they promote kindness. Like Oso said, they promote kindness. They promote respect, courage. Those are very important. It's just not just fighting. They have real fighters. They're really good, very skillful. And
Michelle, you also were a beautiful representation of grace and beauty and strength with a feminine energy, with the yin and yang. We had a lot of men on the set and only a few women, but it was awesome to have you there to represent the opposite of the men, with still the strength and the power, with the beauty and the grace. And I think that's what she really brought, from my point of view, as a producer and creator, to have some very strong women that have amazing skills, but also just beauty and balance and the feminine energy.
Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunities. It's all mostly men's word there, but I feel love. I feel kindness. I feel respect. Everybody's so polite, so
it was lovely
amazing.
To meet you.
I love to be with all of you.
Blessing.
Orlando, how about you, sir? What when all of this is said and done, what do you want the audience to remember most about the Warrior Island universe?
What I want them to remember most is the fact that James pulled from all different directions to put this together. Brought a lot of different ethnicities into this, He brought a lot of different hope, but most importantly is he brought this together on his own strength. Well, not on his own strength, but with the help of all of the warriors that came in to help him out. Now, they call me a warrior in fighting, okay? James, you're a true warrior for doing what you did, because it's gonna be amazing. And I think you know that. So I think I said enough for you guys today. It's actually the point that I've got to get back to the gym. Unfortunately, I'm a one-man show, so I got to go and run my business. But I love you guys. I
applaud you.
Thank you, brother. And I'll see you guys soon. I've got to check out because, like you said, we've been for an hour.
Yeah, I got students in the gym too. I got to go to the gym. We all have gyms.
Yes, sir. Amen. All right, brother. I love you guys. I'm going to check out, and God bless you all. See you soon.
Thank you, Orlando.
Thanks, Orlando.
Also, let me get some parting words from you as well, and then we'll finish around the rest of the table. What do you want audiences to remember about Warrior Island?
The energy and spirit that that took place there, and how we're going to take it and continue with this mission. Because again, I'm going to go back to what I said: martial arts can change the world. It's because of the codes, the principles that are inherent within it. That's what makes us who we are. We're going to be great.
That's fantastic. Jimmy Justice, how about you, sir?
Yeah, well, I can't tell you about the movie, or can I? But I was humbled by the Tiki Code, yeah. And back to my life in England. I'm back to being Jimmy Justice, back to selling fights. But there's one thing I can tell you about martial arts and competitive fighting is that when two men fight, you know, the respect amongst each other is amazing. You know, they may seem like there's a bit of attitude and, you know, this brashness, but look, once you fight each other, that respect stays forever. You become like brothers, you know. And I've met some amazing people through martial arts and fighting, and Warrior Island is just testament to that. And yeah, martial arts saves people's lives. The Follow the Code is going to be a story for humanity. So thank you, James, and I look forward to watching the movie.
Thank you, Jimmy Justice.
Awesome. Master Reed, how about you, sir?
Well, is the message, you know, I wish that people would take the message, you know, from the movie that has inspired through James. I mean, mentally, spiritually, and physically, you know. Always make sure you show kindness. You know, meekness is not weakness. Show kindness. Keep a smile on your face. You never know. You might just literally make someone's day. And in martial arts and in the code that this movie and this series is about, it is incredible because it inspires people to be their best. You know, I watched James hopping on one leg and he just kept going and going and going. You know, so, you know, being a black ninja and a red ninja, it didn't matter for me. I was Master Reed in the series also. It didn't matter for me. It's really literally the message within this series that's going to literally change a lot of minds around the world, you know. So I give thanks for James, and I really am blessed to be a part of this epic series that's going to really blow the nation, you know, and have them to understand that martial arts is truly, like Oso say, it's not only about kicking and punching. It's about respect. It's about how can I make you feel better at the end of the day. So I am truly blessed to be a part of this, you know, beautiful message that is going out there. And I give thanks. Thank you again, James. And thank you everyone for your kindness on the set. You know, thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Master Reed.
David, Viking Samurai, talk to me, brother.
The story behind the story that James talked about, 12 years in the making, the guy never gave up. He pulled it off. So that really resonates with me, and I'll share my story like someday on my channel, you know, because I think when James said You know, I think he's 6'2", right? 300 pounds. But looking at all the masters on the steps almost brought a tear to his eye. So that tells me that, you know, 12 years in the making, he never gave up. You know, he got tested, it had challenges, had obstacles. And I think anybody going after their dream, going after big things, like the universe and God will test you and bring you down to your knees. That actually happened to me. And I know it had to have happened to James and anybody else who like finally made it, man, because it's almost like you have to be tested to see how bad you want it. And there's probably a reason why, sadly, that 95% of people never do get there, you know, but 5% of people do. It would be great if everybody did. But you know, you do have, like, if you just go by stats, at least a 5% chance. So if you never give up, you have to have the dream. You got to turn it into a goal, which is a dream with a deadline. You have to have deadlines because, like James said, you're born on a date, you die on a date. That dash, you have to have deadlines because you're literally going to be dead someday. So, you know, you have to put the hard work and the consistency, but you also need a strategy because you could be the hardest worker in the room, but if you don't have the strategy, you just ain't going to get where you need to go. So, you know, Warrior Island, man, James, you pulled it off, man. Great thing. And you stuck with it for 12 years and it all paid off.
Thank you.
Sheldon.
You, sir.
Yeah.
Sheldon, what is your take on all of this?
Well, I can bring a certain amount of perspective to this. Now, I am in my 70s. Okay, so I've been around for a while. And 40 years ago, I was sitting around having conversations just like this with Jean-Claude Van Damme, Michelle Kesey, Frank Dukes, and we were talking about what Bloodsport was going to turn into. We had no idea. The movie had not been released. It wasn't even in releasable form, but we were having conversations like this about how great the movie is going to do, how it's going to be, it's going to set a new benchmark for martial arts movies. We had all these conversations. Then nothing happened for a while. Canon Films didn't even want to release the movie in theaters. We went through a lot of ins and outs, but now 40 years later, it's a classic. Everybody knows Bloodsport. People on the street know Bloodsport. Politicians know Bloodsport. They talk about it. Apparently, it was one of Trump's favorite movies. So I've got this whole legacy that I'm able to look back on, and I know what it felt like before the movie actually came out. And even when it came out, it took a while for it to catch on. It took a while for people to realize just how great and how special this movie was. But now, you know, like 30 years later, 40 years later, people are talking about it. It's a classic. It's a benchmark. Personally, I think that that's what's going to happen with Warrior Island if we pull it off correctly. We still have to make the movie. The movie's not made yet. When we were talking about Bloodsport, the movie had been shot. We had some problems with the editing. The studio didn't want to release it in theaters. We had our problems, but eventually we got past all that. And it's the work itself, the movie itself, that won audiences over. And it's the martial arts, it's the people that were in the movie that won audiences over. It's, you know, Van Damme and Michelle Kesey and Bolo Jung and a lot of the other fighters. All those elements came together to make a classic. Personally, I think we're going to be making a classic martial arts film that 40 years from now, I don't know if I'll still be here, but people will be talking about this movie and basically classifying it with Enter the Dragon and Bloodsport and The Quest. That's my feeling. And I was actually there 40 years ago at the beginning. So I know how this stuff starts. And I also have had the privilege to see what it turns into when you've got something that's just gold. You got gold in your hands, and that's what we've got right now. So James, you got the golden tiki in your hands, buddy. All right.
As lofty praise. So James, to you then, a lot of talk about legacy, and you know, as a martial artist, you know, the journey never ends. But you're getting close to what is going to be a culmination of 12 plus years of effort here. So what is the audience going to be walking away with? What do you want them to remember about what your legacy will be regarding Warrior Island?
I want them to be inspired to reach their dreams. I want them to feel that martial arts can make a difference. I want them to realize that humanity can be saved. So the art that we've created and the art we will create will make a difference in this world. We live in a world with a lot of evil, with a lot of people that want to create chaos. So with the Tiki Code, the Red Ninjas, the Grandmasters, and the Fighters, we're going to create an army of good to defeat evil. And with these amazing people that have all joined me today, and on the 100 that helped make this streaming movie for TV, the last thing I would like to say is we will see you on November 11th in Times Square at the AMC Empire Theater. You can get all the information at warriorisland.com. You can get us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all that stuff. But I would just like to say, that's a wrap.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you to all of you for taking some time out to chat. Warrior Island, it seems like it's going to be an epic journey, and I'm thankful that you guys took some time out to talk with me today. Best of luck to all of you. James, best of luck on Warrior Island becoming the nation of everything that you worked so hard for. So thank you all so much. Guys, be safe and have a
Bye,
great day.
everybody.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.
See you soon.
Go on. Thank you.